Hi guys and welcome back to Wrestling Review. Well, Danny's for another review, and this time we will be reviewing NXT's Stand and Deliver 2026 St. Louis, but we'll get into the review in a second. Overall, guys, I thought it was an enjoyable um show. We had an unexpected addition of a pre-show match. I don't typically get pre-show matches now, but obviously with Hank and Tank included in the pre-show, you've got stuff you've got Benson Kill AR, Ariana Grace, who's the Knockouts champion. It just made sense to have an extra match to hype up the crowd. The one thing I would say about this show is that it had taken like at least until the second half of the triple threat women's match for the crowd to a response. Uh, I don't think the factory in St. Louis has good acoustics, to be honest. But yeah, let's get into the match card now. Um, so we kick things off with the pre-show mixed tag match. So it was Hank and Tank, Shiloh, O'Hill, EK Pro, Oscar, Rensing, and Rensing AR up against the upright of X's King, Channing Statsel, Lorenzo Charlo, Dempsey, Raya Honors, and the TNA Knockouts champion, Ariana Grace, Orensing, here holds the women's big championship, so you've got two champions showcased here. The match time is 6 minutes and 23 seconds. A fast-paced match to kick us off. There was a lot kind of done within these 6 minutes. Or and Charlie Dempsey had a good interaction, then obviously slaps Charlie. They are both former UCC members. So it's good that Murray gets a bit of revenge on Charlie Dempsey. Loads of action spilling to the outside, sets up Shiloh O'Hill for the neck break, occupying Charlie Dempsey in the middle of the ring. EK Pro Oscar debuts his new name. As I said in the predictions video, it was obvious that he would change his name at some point. I'm not really a fan of the new name. It just kinda seems a bit politically um slogan, if that makes sense. Um, you've got you've got Hank and Tank who needed to win. Shiloh Hill needs to keep his momentum strong now. Ren is a crowd favourite. So yeah, this made sense. And she had Pro Oscar do a somersault pull on Jilla. He gets a good reaction just before the pinfall. And yeah, and yeah, six man, and it's by the time Peter Rosenberg and Megan are in actually go through the card, it only gives time for like a 6 minute match, and they did the best that they could with it. But my favourite interaction was obviously with Ray and Aaron Charlie Dempsey. I like that as it's a callback to their um past sort of endeavour, which was the UCC. The next match on the card, it's of the main offering. You have Wool of Ice defeating JCJ and Fallon Henno and Annie Reid. JCJ and you see her getting the entrance this the our entrance treatment. Um, you see clips of her beating um Stephanie McHare. You see her holding the knockouts championship and a few other tiny ups. You see he fatal influence her daughter and and it's a really good entrance. You have Wall of Ice coming out with her half of the mixed tag um team championships in triple A with um our tag partner is remember Wana, but he couldn't make the show because triple A is on after this. You have you have Lent and Kill here come out. You have Lent and Kill here come out with Kendall Hooray. She factors it into the finish rhythm which sets up below a Vikings victory. But this match was really good. You had you had all three women show out. Here you had Kendall Gray attempt a couple of submissions. She's really good. You've got all of Ice with her MMA background, and you've got Jane, who's a right old heel. You have Fallon Henley and any need to get involved in points. You really felt as though it was going to be Kendall Gray picking up the victory here. The way she kinda snaps off the cross arm breaker is really Alright. So the way she puts the move on is good. Um, you had to do ACJ do the running knee and the rolling on or but she can't put any of the other two competitors up. So we Orange and Kelly then takes out Fowler and then over in the ringside. She sees them off after diving onto the mother of a crossbar. Or DJ sees all alone. It factors into the finishes. JCM takes out Kendall Guerrero after rolling on or she spills out the floor. Um, She then tries to do the same to Lola of Ice, but she counters it into the back fist and gets a pinfall and becomes the NXT and becomes the NXT Women's Champion. So she's kind of a duo. She's kind of a duo Horcha Champion. She holds two belts in two different organizations. Yeah, that was pretty good. In the back though, you see Tatum actually he congratulates Shiloh Hill. She she says to him the next step from being on the countdown show as being in the stand and as becoming a champion in NXT. Big things will come from this. Congratulations on your victory. Then we get to the weakest match of the night after all the 16 minutes and 15 seconds of the great triple threat match. The Vanity Project of Brad Bale and Ricky Smokes, accompanied by Jackson Drake, defeat Los Americanos Orion Bravo FML Guarantee and ringside by and for all this was 13 minutes and 27 seconds. We'll kind of skip over some of this again. I really wanted the Americanos to beat the Vanity Project, but I knew deep down that wasn't going to happen because they've just put the belts on them. Um, but yeah, Jackson Drake's they used the metal from Bravo's mask because it was loaded up earlier and by by El Grande but it says El Grande takes out Jackson, but he's able to recover and get involved in the finish. He hits Bravo with the metal. The ref doesn't see it. Smokes and Bale are hitting their double team finish, and they're still the champs. It was alright. Fan of I'm just not a fan of the Vanity project. You're not going to like everybody when it comes to professional wrestling. They just don't seem to do it for me. Um, but yeah, um, but yeah, very predictable finish this one, and um, yeah, it was probably the weakest match of the night, but because I'm not really into the Divinity Project as much as the rest of the wrestlers on the card. Match number 4 was his solo defeating Aria by a pinfall. This was 13 minutes and 7 seconds. The tag was a few seconds longer, but this one was a better match. The St. Louis Kid out was a contrast to the crowd in Orlando. The crowd in Orlando seemed to favour Zaharia, but the crowd here favours Soroka, and Soroka as the baby face in the feud. The video intro for this match is really well done. It documents the history of Zaruk, their rise and their fall, and key moments that led to the building up in this feud. Very good match to have Arya sitting on the top rope at points, having stolen the um having stolen the sleeper or a very heel smooth. It just makes the sleeper tough to get out of. So all hits the Pilsner Hatcher on the ramp. It looked absolutely brutal. She goes for the covers Arya kicks out. Um, she then hits on the close Hatcher again. Arya kicks out. Zarya then with her hits for five or Ruka kicks out, and Ruka was able to hit an X Factor, hitting hitting X Factor or ex- extra, and then she eventually hits the Solskjaer and gets a victory. Well, and Zarya took the offensive more she did to the iconic has spot to the forehead of soul, so I like that they brought that back in. Soul would then get challenged by Izzy to enter a match for um um and for the next episode of NXT. Soul would say to Sarah but now she's focused on NXT Women's Championship. Oh, um, but as he says to her, okay, you can't just cut the line, you're going to get defeated by the aim for us because she also wants the shot and then it's two women's championship and I like this match idea. I think as he's probably one of the more underrated wrestlers us with an NXT ticket me can argument within the whole company. I'll leave the up to Sean and to Eric Tardis, but either to debate in the and but yeah, shout out to those guys that are two big supporters of this um channel, and I really do enjoy their content. Um, in terms of what they put out on their respective um channels, go check them out. Really nice more ads. Then we get to Miles on and Johnny Gargano for Miles NXT North American Championship Victor 07 Booker RT note that Johnny take over his back. Candice is ringside. Of course, she is not only an on-screen personality, but she's a backstage producer for the main roster as well now, guys, if you didn't already know. Oh, that's kinda why she only wrestles like not even a handful of matches now. I think she's only had one match in about 6 months, but you get the point. Um, this this match was actually really good. Johnny got a lot of offense and hitting his DDT a couple of times, and then he walks Miles Born and the Organo escaped Iceman. It took Miles 3 on again attempts, but on again it's the zigzag. So that's answer, and sure it took him 3 attempts at the on again to put Gargano but really good match, but I don't know where Gargano will end up within the organisation. My concern is though if the post or WrestleMania release I think maybe Organo could be a casualty. Sadly, I mean, Johnny Gargano still has a lot to offer. Some, you need somebody that's a wrestling mechanic, particularly on the main roster, even although they might not work in a lot of singles matches on the main roster. You need a wrestling mechanic included on the main roster, and I think Johnny provides that. Um, you could also make the argument what could save him from the cuts is obviously Candice Ray, who's Johnny's wife, is also a backstage producer. and they done a managerial responsibilities to get Gargano, so that could maybe um sort of shelter him from the post WrestleMania. But I think it would be an insane move to get rid of Johnny Gargano, because as I've said, you do need in the ring mechanics at this um for the main roster to help get guys over and on to the next sort of level in their careers. I think Gargano is the perfect choice for doing something like that. But but yeah, well, let's move on. My actual physical 14 and it's 35 seconds. Pretty good, uh, it gives Miles on a sort of epic event to really cement his title reign. It's good to have one of those matches very early on in the title reign. We now switch focus to the singles match for the Women's North American Championship. Before we do, guys, we get Roberts on talking to all advice and congratulating her, but is Will uh he says that Will has a target on her back now. But he says he'll give a further thing for her to Jerry as her title victory and celebrate. We also get an interlude up to the hype video interval graduate Carol Armstrong. I haven't actually tuned into Evolve in ages and probably almost about a year, but she was one of the standouts and she would be a great addition to the main to the main NXT roster. Uh, um, I'd love to see her go up against um Jada Parker. They both have a similar sort of style, but that's personal preference. We'll get back to the review. Tatum Paxley defends again and Aikman of the NXT Women's North American Championship. And the road comes out with Paxley his North American Championship as she stole in the past couple of weeks. She's kind of more the deluded Huna. Like they are addressing the fact that they fucked up with ending her title reign with the botched finish, which caused Monroe to lose the belt to Thea Hale. So naturally, they've incorporated that into Monroe's heel persona. So she's kind of in that deluded sort of I never lost the belt kind of situation. You've got Tatum Paxley, who's just come out a pretty a physical feud with as he aim um to to become the NXT North American Championship was obviously the women's NXT ch- ch- champion. Um, so naturally, this is her kind of having an un, having a run with secondary um championship, but she's won the two sort of singles titles and the women. Um, so basic, so basically Tatum actually um injured her arm as she tries a move on the um as she tries a move in this steel ramp, but when all kinda in the rock ain't nah, it's Monroe that it's a super X to Pat, so on her arm the shoulder comes into nah, it's the hurricane it's the Anna off the top. Sorry that causes a shoulder injury. And the road begins the assault throughout the rest of the match. She even gets desperate as she can't put Tatum away. She takes out the middle unbuckle pad and the bottom. Um, Actually, he hits her head. Um, and Rowe hits the second to kill. Hammer shot DDE gets a 2 count, but Paxley's able to go off that offense and hits a semi-trigger for the win. Again, very good performance by both. I suspect though that Bill Aikman and Roma might get called up to the main or star post and post WrestleMania. I'd like to see her take the belt from AJ Lee, the women's Intercontinental Championship straight away because she's a world renowned performer. Um, she's wrestled in the likes of AEW, Ring of Pakistan, and one of the big Asian companies. Um, the shows from what I hear do they well. She's wrestled in Game Changer Pro Wrestling, which is a more sort of hard or adult ocean. Just incredible former two-time ECW champion and ECW tag champion and is heavily involved in that promotion run by Brett Lauderdale so she can get um so she can get hard war in a match delivery. She's got a good character. The women and the women from Hell in the Guild. I'm on the spot personality character. She actually does them in I kill Kitty as a character a lot better than AJ. And I think that would be a good sort of introductory way for or her to be introduced on the main or or although I do find it uneasy that she's not held the main NXT Women's Championship yet. I feel as though that is also a belt made or although she looks good with championships and like with that character she has she sees belts as materialistic and fashion accessories, so it's a fun character. And yeah, a very good match with Tatum Patch. Tatum's another very good so or my advice to Sean is go back to some of these women's matches and actually give them a look. But yeah, that goes my history with some pretty good match. 13 minutes with 21 seconds match. So very good with Tatum Paxley retains. She's just became champion, so it makes sense. And then the main event, Tony D'Angelo defeats Joe Hendry, Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page by way of pinfall. A fatal four-way match for the NXT Men's Championship. You have you have the whole sort of friendship breakdown between Saints and Page. They both hit their finishers on each other and they kind of go by to the other as the other falls out to the outside. Tony D'Angelo hits a spear that breaks Saints in half midway through, takes out Ethan Page. The finish of the match actually sees both Saints and Page spur hold out on the arena floor, whereas the announce table has been smashed to pieces. You have Tony and Joe Hendry fight out. D'Angelo hits a choke slam on Hendry and picks up the win here. Very good match. D'Angelo becomes NXT champion. A Joe anti sort of story arcs compel. He's also um he's also he's also dealt with darks. He who I forgot to mention Dion Enox attacked who I forgot to mention that Dion Enox attacked Miles Horn after Horn's offence against Gargano, so Enox will be next in line for a shot at Miles Horn then as well. But Tony D has completed to the three things he wanted on his NXT return. He's taken out Darkstay and he's became the NXT champion. So yeah, and I do like the vigilante sort of aspect of his character. Virgil also than Booker T sort of remind the audience this is a different Tony D'Angelo is more focused. Joe Hendry, though, think he'll get his rematch. Saints and Age will kind of spill into or off into their own feud. As I predicted in my predictions and in my review, actually, I predicted a loser of the NXT match between both Saints and Page. I think Ethan, I think Ethan, especially, I think he'll get called up to the main roster, or I think they want to keep Saints down here for a month or longer, or so maybe give him another and give him a match with Tony D'Angelo for the Angelo to destroy and bring him up. I think Saints will beat Page and the losers the NXT match that I predicted. But yeah, pretty much a decent pay-per-view, 16 minutes and 2 seconds match. Tony D'Angelo being a homegrown talent, it's nice for him to get the belt eventually. He's held the Heritage Cup, he's held the NXT North American Championship, and he's held the tag titles. But I've asked the commentators actually say that he's seen Carmelo Hayes, he's seen Trick Williams move up, he's seen the likes of he's seen the likes of he's seen the likes of Jordan Gray, he's move up, he's seen a whole load of people move up to the main horse, or that he that he that he came up with. If I probably he shouldn't have said that Jordan Grace, but yeah, you know what I mean. But but yeah, but yeah, it was a cool moment, and I'm sure Joe Hendry will get his rematch at some point. Um, or they could hold him up post or WrestleMania. That remains to be seen. But yeah, guys, that is where I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Um, I'll I'll take um I'll take into consideration I didn't really enjoy the Vanity Project versus Los America Annos, as I can't really get into the Vanity Project as a tag team. You had Dion Enoch's attack Miles on after the um title defense against Johnny Gargano. You had Low a vice become an NXT Women's Champion in a great match. You had Soul and Zaria have a great match. Soul will kind of break away from the feud and on to the and on to the match with us. Aim for this week's NXT episode. I do expect Zaria to get involved in cause so again, and I don't think that feud's completely finished. I think Ethan Page and Ricky Saints will spill into or off into a feud now because we've seen that friendship of convenience dissolve in the fatal four-way match on this card. Tatum Paxton Paul Monroe had a great match. Yeah, I had a pretty fun chaotic pre-show match. Um, and just a fun hard over all you had the cow Armstrong and Cherada up to the video pack each we'll see what's in store for Cow Armstrong on NXT now. She's kind of been called up from Evolve. So I think the call ups are going to start to happen. It'd be interesting to see if Paul Aikman in a row gets a call up. JC Jane perhaps will get a call up. I think Fatal Influence will attack her this week in NXT now that she's lost in the championship and became more for honourable. She's about due a call up also. She's held the TNA knockouts. She's held to the TNA knockouts championship as well as two NXT title runs. I think that is kind of criteria for I mean roster call up. Rick Williams has kind of been in on the same path, so I do actually see her getting called up now as well. So yeah, lots to think about, guys. 8 out of 10. Let me know in those comments what you thought of the show, and I'll see you all very soon. Like, share, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you all for the rest of you.